about all kinds of stuff. Professor Dave explains.
Throughout this series, we've learned a lot about Italian vocabulary, grammar, and culture. We've gone over many different expressions that will help you sound like a native speaker, but there are also certain ways that Italians behave that must be understood if you wish to blend in with the locals. Let's go through a few tips right now that will help anyone look like a real Italian. First, don't order cappuccino after 10:30 or 11 a.m. Although Italians are now accustomed to tourists asking for cappuccino at any time of the day, and don't laugh quite as much anymore, remember that no real Italian would ever order one at the end of a meal. This beverage is for breakfast only. Also, no drinks while walking around on the road. This does not refer specifically to alcoholic beverages. No sodas or coffee either. There is a place for everything, and it's not the Italian sidewalk. Continuing with beverages, don't ask for tap water at a restaurant trying to save money. It's commonly understood that Italian municipal water, although not poisonous, is not the best to drink. Everybody, and I mean everybody, orders acqua minerale, either gassata, which means carbonated, or naturale, which is not. Moving on to food, as we mentioned when discussing the history of pizza, Italians do not share pizza. There are no humongous 20-inch pies. Pizza is served as a generous personal pizza, just enough to satisfy the appetite of one person. And don't ask for pineapple or other American innovations. Italians like just a few classic toppings. For breakfast, don't ask for eggs in the morning unless you are staying in a multinational hotel chain where they cater to foreign customers. Italian breakfast is very small and generally consists of coffee and something like a cornetto. They need to save some room for their delicious pranzo and all that pasta that's to come. Moving on to more subtle points, Italians will look at you strangely if you grate parmigiano cheese over any fish dish, regardless if it's soup or pasta. The idea behind this is that cheese would overwhelm the delicate flavor of fish. So remember that for your next plate of fettuccine alle vongole. Next, this is almost a given. Avoid putting ketchup on everything. Italians have it, but just to make available to tourists. In fact, they don't use it that much. This is probably the most important one. Do not drink excessively. Italians enjoy their adult beverages because they like the flavor, but they almost universally do not abuse alcohol. Act appropriately, especially if you are a guest in someone's home. To wrap up with food and drink, do not order a sweet drink with a main meal. Italians do not understand how Coca-Cola can pair with spaghetti or steak, and in fact, it really doesn't. Moving on, do your best to pay attention to your clothes. Dress casually but neatly. If you don't, notice that they do, and they might judge your shorts or flip-flops. After all, Italy is the country of Armani and Gucci. In terms of meeting people, if someone kisses you on the cheek, not romantically, remember that Italians use kissing as a form of greeting. It's absolutely very common, and it replaces the American hug. It's done first on one cheek, and it's always repeated on the other cheek, so don't pull back in between. Next, although younger generations may very well understand English, do not assume that everyone else does too. Unless you are in a large city or in a touristy place, many Italians do not understand other languages. Luckily, after so many Italian tutorials, this shouldn't be an issue. And finally, a brief point of decorum. Do not treat everyone informally. Although it may be fun for you to say ciao to everybody, you need to be aware that some old-fashioned Italians do not appreciate it because ciao is extremely informal. Use buongiorno or buonasera instead. Add a smile while you're at it. It will be appreciated. And with that, you are ready to roam Italy and blend in with the residents.
Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel for more tutorials. Support me on Patreon so I can keep making content. And as always, feel free to email me, ProfessorDaveExplains@gmail.com.